Picture a grainy black and white photo. Amelia Earhart, her short hair perfectly framing a face full of determination and hope. Her confident smile hints at the courage that made her a global icon, a woman who dared to dream beyond the horizon. In the 1930s, Earhart was more than just a pilot. She was a symbol of adventure, progress, and the limitless possibilities of flight. Here she stands, poised beside her gleaming Lockheed Electra, the very aircraft that would carry her into legend. The plane, with its twin engines and sleek lines, was as ambitious as Earhart herself, built for speed, distance, and the unknown. She's on the verge of her greatest feat, an audacious attempt to fly around the world at the equator, a journey that would test the limits of both machine and human spirit. Maps are spread out, routes traced, and the world watches in anticipation. But that hopeful image, frozen in time, would soon become the prologue to one of history's greatest mysteries. Headlines would scream her disappearance, and the world would be left with questions that echoed for generations. Fast forward to 1940, on the remote Pacific island of Nikumaroro, British officer Gerald Gallagher stumbles upon a partial human skeleton, a woman's shoe, a sextant box, and a glass bottle. The discovery is both haunting and tantalizing, raising the possibility that Earhart's final chapter may have played out here, far from the world's gaze. This desolate island, ringed by coral and battered by waves, is a world away from Earhart's fame and the bustling airfields she once knew. It's a place where survival is uncertain, and secrets can remain hidden for decades. For decades, the bones and artifacts were dismissed, a forgotten footnote in the archives of colonial administration, gathering dust while the world speculated and searched for answers elsewhere. But what if these bones were the final witness to Earhart's last days? What if, in their silence, they held the key to unraveling the fate of the world's most famous aviatrix? The journey to connect these two scenes, celebrated aviator and castaway on a lonely atoll, has become a generational detective story, inspiring researchers, dreamers, and skeptics alike. It's a forensic puzzle, pieced together by sifting through old evidence, launching new expeditions, and re-examining every clue with fresh eyes and modern science. The search continues, chasing the truth across the vast Pacific, driven by the hope that one day, the mystery of Amelia Earhart's fate will finally be solved. To understand the enduring obsession with Amelia Earhart's disappearance, we must first appreciate the extraordinary life she led and the legacy she left behind. Earhart was more than just a pilot. She was a symbol of courage, independence, and possibility in an era when women were expected to stay grounded, both literally and figuratively. You have to know who she was. She shattered gender barriers, inspiring a generation of women to dream beyond the limitations society placed on them. Earhart's achievements were not just personal milestones, they were cultural milestones, challenging the world's expectations of what women could accomplish. She became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic, a feat that electrified the public and made her an international celebrity. Her daring flights and charismatic presence inspired millions, making her a household name and a beacon of hope for those who dared to dream. In 1937, at the height of her fame, Earhart set out to achieve her most ambitious goal yet, to circumnavigate the globe at the equator, a journey never before completed by anyone. She was joined by her skilled navigator, Fred Noonan, and together they flew a specially modified Lockheed Electra, equipped for the grueling journey ahead. Their journey captivated the world. Each stop along their route became a headline, drawing crowds to airfields and gluing families to their radios. The world watched in awe as Earhart and Noonan pushed the boundaries of what was possible, their progress chronicled in newspapers and newsreels across the globe. On July 2, 1937, they departed from Lae, New Guinea, on what would become the most fateful leg of their journey. Their destination was Howland Island, a tiny remote speck in the vast Pacific Ocean, barely visible even on the most detailed maps. The flight was perilous, with Earhart and Noonan relying on the stars, Noonan's expert navigation, and tenuous radio contact with the Coast Guard cutter Itasca stationed near Howland. The vastness of the Pacific stretched endlessly below, and every mile brought new risks. Unpredictable weather, equipment failures, and the ever-present threat of running out of fuel. As they neared their destination, radio transmissions grew faint and filled with static. Earhart reported low fuel and uncertainty about their position, her voice betraying the tension and urgency of the moment. On the ground, radio operators listened anxiously, straining to catch every word. "We are on the line 157-337, she transmitted. A cryptic message referring to a navigational line that passed through both Howland and the nearby Nikumaroro Island. It was a final clue, a desperate attempt to communicate their position as hope faded. Then, silence. The world's greatest aviator vanished without a trace, leaving behind a mystery that would captivate generations and cement her legacy as an enduring icon of adventure and courage. The largest search in naval history scoured 250,000 square miles of ocean for Earhart and Noonan. The official crash and sink theory emerged. Lost, low on fuel, they ditched at sea and vanished beneath the waves. No wreckage was found, but the ocean's vastness made that unsurprising. The U.S. government declared Earhart lost at sea in 1939. For decades, this was the accepted truth, a legend sealed by the Pacific's depths. But this theory ignored later clues. Faint radio calls and the bones on Nikumaroro. The official story, it turns out, might not be the whole story. As the official search faded, a new theory emerged, built on post-loss radio signals heard across the Pacific. Direction-finding stations traced these signals to Gardner Island, now Nikumaroro. Tigar's Nikumaroro hypothesis suggests Earhart and Noonan, missing Howland, landed on the island's reef. The flat coral surface could have allowed a safe emergency landing. Instead of a sudden end, this theory paints a picture of survival castaways battling the elements, sending desperate radio calls. The Electra's radios may have worked intermittently until tides swept the plane away. This transforms the mystery into a story of endurance, not instant tragedy. It's why researchers returned to Nikumaroro, searching for evidence left behind. Decades of archaeological digs on Nikumaroro have uncovered a trove of clues. At the Seven site, where Gallagher found the skeleton, researchers found a glass jar of Dr. Barry's freckle ointment, Earhart's known brand. A woman's shoe, size and style matching Earhart's, surfaced from the coral. A Brandis sextant box, like Noonan's, and a green Benedictine bottle, Earhart's good luck charm, were also found. Other finds: a flight jacket zipper, a hand-sharpened knife, and campfire remains with fish and turtle bones. Each item alone could be coincidence, but together they form a compelling pattern. These are not the belongings of a random castaway. They point to a 1930s American woman and her navigator. The Seven site is a time capsule, preserving the story of their final days. The evidence is heartbreakingly personal. In 1940, a partial skeleton was discovered on a remote Pacific island. At the time, the remains were quickly dismissed after a British doctor declared them to be male, based on the limited forensic knowledge and tools available in that era. This decision, made decades ago, would shape the narrative for generations, casting doubt on any connection to Amelia Earhart. The bones were eventually lost, and for years, the mystery seemed unsolvable. But in 2018, forensic anthropologist Dr. Richard Jantz revisited the case. Using the original measurements recorded in the 1940s, he applied advanced forensic software and modern analytical techniques to re-examine the evidence. This new approach allowed for a far more precise and objective analysis than was possible in the past. The results were striking. Jantz found that the bones were far more likely to be female, and their proportions matched Amelia Earhart's height and build better than 99% of reference samples. This was a dramatic reversal of the original conclusion, and it reignited hope that the mystery could finally be solved. Jantz meticulously compared the bone lengths to Earhart's known dimensions, using not only the original notes, but also photographs, clothing records, and other historical documents. This comprehensive approach strengthened the case, providing a scientific foundation for the theory that the remains could indeed be hers. His conclusion was clear. Unless new evidence emerges to prove otherwise, the remains are most likely those of Amelia Earhart. This finding challenges decades of skepticism and brings us closer to the truth. The science of the 1940s, limited by its time, failed to see what 21st century forensics now reveal. Today's technology has given us the tools to revisit old mysteries and rewrite history. This reanalysis transforms what was once the biggest contradiction in the Nikumaroro theory into one of its strongest pieces of support. The evidence now points more convincingly than ever toward Earhart's presence on the island. While DNA testing is impossible without the actual bones, the convergence of forensic data, historical records, and modern analysis makes the case compelling. The absence of physical remains is a setback, but not a dead end. Science has given us a new lens to see the past, allowing us to challenge old assumptions and uncover hidden truths. Each new discovery brings us closer to understanding what really happened. The lost bones may still hold the answers we've been searching for. Until they are found, the search continues. But now, with science on our side, the story of Amelia Earhart is being rewritten. While archaeologists searched the island, others hunted for the Electra's wreckage. Dr. Robert Ballard's 2019 deep-sea search found nothing off Nikumaroro's reef, but a 2015 cyclone revealed a new clue. Satellite images showed a mysterious object, the Taraya object, on the lagoon floor, matching the Electra's size. Dr. Richard Pettigrew's analysis suggests the plane may have been pushed into the lagoon, not the deep ocean. A new expedition aims to investigate the Taraya object with drones and sonar. If it's the Electra, it would be the ultimate proof of the Nikumaroro landing. The search has shifted from the abyss to the lagoon, offering real hope for answers. New technology and fresh eyes keep the quest alive. The Earhart mystery is clouded by myths, most famously, the Japanese capture theory. Claims of a secret spy mission and blurry photos have been debunked by historians and declassified files. Japan helped search for Earhart. The evidence is fiction. Another myth. DNA has disproven the Nikumaroro theory. In reality, the original bones were lost before DNA testing was possible. No DNA test has ever been performed on the remains most likely to be Earhart's. The outdated 1941 analysis has been overturned by modern science. Separating fact from fiction is crucial. The real evidence consistently points to Nikumaroro. The truth is in the artifacts, the radio signals, and the science. The Amelia Earhart story stands at a crossroads, and the search for answers is far from over. For those who crave the thrill of mystery, true crime, and the unexplained, this case is a testament to the power of curiosity and determination. Every clue, every theory, and every unanswered question brings us closer to the truth, and deeper into the enigma. If you're passionate about historical enigmas, conspiracies, and suspenseful storytelling, you're in the right place. Like the investigators searching for that final piece of proof, your insights and theories matter, so share them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more captivating investigations and unsolved stories. Join our community of explorers as we dive into the world's greatest mysteries. Together, Earhart's legacy endures, inspiring all who dare to ask, what if? Stay curious, keep searching, and we'll see you in the next unsolved adventure.